All right. Hello, everyone. Let us take our chat over here. My mouse is acting a little bit weird. And all right, I will put the chat right over here. And let us get started soon. So I think I'm going to wait for what are our numbers right now. We have 7 viewers. Okay, cool. All right, so we can get started sometime soon. Let me just move my stuff on my screen a little bit so I can get a better view of what's going on. All right. Oh, you know what? I can probably even just put the chat over here. That way people know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to a comment. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Shashank and I'm a data analyst working at Nordstrom in the United States. And I make videos where I teach you how to become a data analyst. Hello, welcome everyone, welcome. Okay, cool. We have a couple of viewers here. We are good to get started. A couple of viewers, a couple of comments. Yes, so my name is Shashank. I'm a data analyst who works at Nordstrom, and my whole thing is using my YouTube channel to help spread the knowledge of data science and data and analytics and help you guys get into the field yourselves. That way you can, do what I do if you're interested. Whether you're looking for a career transition or you're in college and you're looking to see if this career works out for you, or you're already in analytics or in business and you want to maybe apply more analytics to what you do, get some ideas, and just share the knowledge in the community. That's exactly what I'm here for. So let's get started. All right, so I see a comment over here. Hello, Weeb Course 101. And then please do one request, put datetime SQL and overall DBMS in general. So Manoj Patel was watching your SQL course for the third time. Just one request, please put one datetime SQL video and overall DBMS. Okay, interesting. Yeah, overall DBMS, I might do that. So I would actually say I don't know that much about database systems like myself. Like I only know them from a purely like practical, like how do I access data in this uh system perspective. But let me go ahead and see what I can do. Maybe I'll make a couple of shorts on it or something like that. Shorts being YouTube's new thing to copy TikTok. I mean, everyone's copying TikTok now because it's so successful. And shorts are how YouTube is copying it. So for anyone that was here last week, you might remember we had a bit of trouble getting the data off of Amazon. And then I wonder if it was I think it was Weeb Course, but it might have been someone else who pointed out that I wasn't actually looping through my code appropriately. And then once we'd done that, everything worked perfectly. Let me zoom in on this for y'all. Um, Feel free to leave comments and questions below, like in the chat. Like I this is also a Q&A. So if you have any comments or anything, I'll be sure to answer them as I can. Oh, cool. I can make it a lot skinnier. Perfect. Yeah, so leave like comments and questions over there. I'm just checking to see if it fits inside the screen. There we go. So you guys can see what I see, and yeah, let's get started. So what we did last time was that we were pulling data from Amazon, not web services, Amazon, like the website. So we got a web page for the Roomba, and then we iterated through all of the review pages, or not all of them, but like 200 of them or something like that. And we iterated through those pages, and we got a bunch of review data. And this is like text data from the reviews. Yeah, you were replacing rather than adding the values. You're exactly right, Weeb Course 101. I don't know why I wonder why so I can see your comments in some places, but not others. I think that this is just behind. But I can see I can see it on my phone. For some reason, this isn't working. Um, so we'll close that. All right. Yes, so you're replacing rather than adding the values. That is exactly what was happening. So thanks for pointing that out. In that case, I don't think I need to have this up and running. Okay, so, and then let me just make sure that hey, Lottie Dada, thank you. I do appreciate being called handsome. All right, so yes, we have now pulled the data, and I believe we parsed out that data. So sorry, excuse me, let me go back for a second and like explain what we're doing over here. So the whole point of this is we're trying to perform a sentiment analysis on on Amazon review data for a Roomba. So what we did is we went to Amazon.com and then we looked up the Roomba. So Roomba. And then we went over here and then went down here and we started scraping this review information somewhere. Where is it? I think I just clicked on this and we started scraping this review data over here. And the idea is that we're going to perform a sentiment analysis on it and we're going to see if the sentiments we're predicting are in line with the star reviews we're seeing over here. So we pulled the data and now we can go ahead and actually start like looking at it. Oh, hey, cool. Welcome, guys. All right, let me see if I can pull the chat out. Can I? I'm trying to see if I can like show the chat on a different window. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm always having issues with YouTube Live. It like makes no sense to me. All right, your channel. Okay, so I think okay, here it is. So then if I click on, there we go. Oh, but do I have to keep that window open? I might have to keep that window open actually. That would make a lot more sense. Again, thank you for all the patience, guys. Or maybe I don't. You know, I should actually like try closing it and see what happens. So do this, pop out the chat, and let me try sending something in. Testing. Okay, cool. It seems to work. All right, so I will just take this and leave this over here, and I have my phone as a backup. Welcome, RD. Welcome. All right, so we'll put that over there. Okay, cool. So we're getting the questions over here. All right, so Alexi fan, hey dude, I've been watching you from the day in the life of a data analyst. Loved it. My question to you is, what do you think about the Google Data Analytics certificate? So I think it is actually. So here's the thing. I I've seen the course material. I think it's excellent. The only problem is it goes over R when I personally think that Python is a more flexible language to use. My whole logic behind that is that say you learn Python, you find out data analysis is not for you, then you can just go become a Python developer. There's a lot of flexibility in like learning Python, so I would say that's my only criticism of it. But otherwise, it seems pretty good. Are you ABD? So for anyone that doesn't know, ABD means American-born Desi, and Desi refers to anyone from South Asia, so like Indians, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis. I think Nepalis count as Desi too, and Sri Lankans. So by calling, he's asking if I'm an ABD. He's asking if I'm an American-born Desi, and yes, I am. It's a play on ABC, which is American-born Chinese. So there's even people that will say, just to have fun, like some people will call it ABCD, so American Born Confused Daisies, because a lot of us are very confused culturally. The same thing happened to me. Okay, RD, hello. Testing. Okay, Abiral, Ashish, is it important to learn HTML before model development? I don't think so. I only learn HTML for my like client contracts because it's pretty useful. Like web development's like an easy thing to like make side money using. So I do a little bit of web development on the side because it's like really easy to find jobs on that. But yeah, I gave Amazon Data Analyst interview. Awesome. I hope it went really well. And Deva Sharma, hey, hi Shashank, really appreciate your work. My question is, what should I learn to do this myself? I just learned Python and SQL. Yeah, I think if you know Python and SQL, that's a great way of starting. Python allows you to like build web scrapers and everything, and then you have to like learn the specific libraries that we use to do all this stuff. So I have tutorials on how to on Python and on SQL, and I don't have a tutorial on web scraping, but I have two videos where I like live stream how I actually like scrape stuff from the web. So do you think someone that is a complete beginner, complete set Google Data Analytics can get a job? I think that it gives you the skills necessary to go interview for jobs. I don't want to sound too dismissive, but the only thing that gets you a job is applying. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times people will ask, like, what are the things I need to do to get a job? And then sometimes they'll forget that, like, oh, the person who got the job is the one that sent in the application. So yes, learning the skills is really important, but you should be applying from the day you want to get hired, and that's really important. For the job I have currently, I sent in like over 80 applications to get to where I am, right, or like to get to the job I currently have. Um, and it is, no shame in getting denied. Obviously, if I ever go somewhere else, I would like to not apply for another 80 applications. But if you're an entry level person, then that's kind of just the price of admission these days. They gave two options: SQL and Excel, HTML and Java. Take any option. Interesting. I'm not sure. In that case, SQL and Excel for sure. Yeah. HTML and Java. Interesting. Those two things sound completely different to me. SQL and Excel versus HTML and Java. All right, yeah, keep the questions rolling in. I'm gonna put them on pause for a moment while I go ahead and like start with the actual like task of like with the web scraping. So we've now scraped the data from this thing, and I will go over the code really quickly of like what we did last time, and it was a lot of fun. So you guys should definitely join in on this on these live streams where I do like live coding because we have a lot of fun. I'm like making mistakes. People are like chiming in, being like, "Oh, you should do it this way. You should do it that way." Weirdly, it's a lot more collaborative than the actual workplace sometimes because in the workplace, no one is just like sitting down and watching me code. But on YouTube, people are. So, um, all right. So keep the questions coming in. I will answer them as I go along. But I also want to like get some of the task done as well. So keep the questions coming in, and I'll get to them at one point in time. So last week, what we did is we went ahead and scraped all the data from an Amazon review. And the way we did that is basically we went to each of these pages and we pulled the entire HTML from that page. Basically, what that means is it's kind of like right-clicking and clicking Save As, and then you get the option of like saving the HTML of the page. That's more or less what we did. And so after we did that, we went ahead and we pulled in the data to like a folder over here, and then started one by one iterating through the HTML files and actually pulling out the relevant information inside it. And let me show you what I mean by that. So like, okay, let's go ahead and like open one of these files. So like this one over here. I don't know if it's formatted in a way that's easy to understand, but put that over there. La-di-da-da, you're right. That it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So you'll see over here we have what I believe is JavaScript, because it's like, this looks like a programming language, and this definitely doesn't look like HTML. But then eventually, you will get to the HTML, which has all of the information we need, like the reviews, for example. So this is still a script. This is still a script. Yeah, this is HTML. When you start seeing like divs and stuff, that's when we have like HTML. So I'm not a web dev, but what I'm guessing happened is that you declare all of your scripts at the top, and then from there you can go ahead and start calling them. Like you say, it shows over here like JavaScript. So what I want to show you guys is we pulled elements like the review. Yeah, so you'll see like there's these things called classes, and each of those has like a name. So for example, a row spacing top small, and we can go ahead and pull all of the information from a given name. So for example, like, okay, if I want to pull this review over here, what we did is we hit F12 on a Mac. It should be the same on a PC. Oh, that's pretty cool. Did a web developer just put that in there? Yeah, someone on it, like Amazon's web development team just put a meow in there. And then, so I clicked on this button over here, and then I go over here, and I can see that the review text is called this class. So we went ahead and we looked for this class, and we pulled all of those. That way we had the information on the actual review. So that's what you see over here, this text over here. All right, so let me close this. I don't know if did we create a CSV file? Let's see. I haven't looked at this since last week. I think we did. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this in Excel. Oh, thank you so much, Florian. And this is another thing. So I don't know much about web dev. Honestly, anything I know about web dev is just like from web scraping, and I kind of like figured out how stuff works. So thank you so much, Florian, for answering that. Okay, so you can declare like your JavaScripts or your scripts either at the beginning or the end, it looks like. Let's see what else we got. Where were we? We were like over here. Remy Kaizen, secret to learn data analysis in Python, be curious and be interested in what you're doing. Long story short, I think that's more or less it. Just keep asking yourself, how does this work? How does that work? Even all this stuff I do with like the web scraping, like only work, or like I was only able to figure out because I was curious about like, how does this stuff work? I never really took a course on web scraping. And that's something I would like tell people, like, you can save a lot of money by just like not taking courses and being incredibly curious and just looking at one-off things. Because I'm not saying courses are bad, but all the knowledge you need to become a data analyst or data scientist is available for free on the internet. And I would definitely not um, ignore the fact that all of that is available to you. Is co-op a good course to take for data analysis? So 5BX Razer, I'm not too sure what co-op means over here. Would you be able to clarify? Alexi Fan, what skills do I need to learn? How much time will it take for me to get a data analyst job? Honestly, I don't know. It depends on your country, depends on the job market where you live in, there's so many factors that like are related to that. So for example, like I was willing to work anywhere in the United States. Or let me rephrase that. I was willing to move to like 5 different cities in the US, or like 5 major cities I was like, okay, moving to. And so it was easier for me to get a job than for example, someone like just looking to move into the Bay Area, for example. So there's so many factors in there. Like I would say, generally speaking, though, you should start applying minimum 3 months before you want to leave a company. Um, it looks like you're saying you're 20 years old, right? So like minimum, you should set off 3 to 6 months for applications, but it can take longer than that, honestly. Like there's so many factors, and it depends so much on you and your application and what you're looking for. Um, all right, so this person has a bunch of text I can't read, but is economics major good for data science? I'm thinking about getting a master's in stats or CS. Would that be a good idea? If you want to do data science specifically, stats is probably the best major you can take. That being said, economists or people like economics majors can totally become data scientists. Like I know, I keep telling the story about this person I know at work where she has a degree in astronomy, and there's another guy that has like a PhD in like biology. So they both have PhDs in astronomy and biology, like respectively, and they went to a boot camp specifically made to like take PhD people and move them into industry. And what happened was basically like a data science is a confluence of someone who knows like has computer skills, has math skills, and has domain knowledge. If you have an economics degree, you obviously have the domain knowledge of some kind. Now you just need the other two. And I'm kind of going at it from the opposite direction. I'm coming at it from a computer perspective. I'm 20 years old and I'm confused with all the coding stuff. Which career path should I go? Data analyst, web dev, or software engineer? Honestly, it's up to you. How much money do you want to make? What do you want to do with your time? At the end of the day, of those careers, a software engineer, non-front end web dev, makes the most money. But you also have to be okay, like being a software engineer. Not everyone can do it, and that's not even a bad thing. That's just like not everyone has like the interest to like do that kind of work. Um, is it fine to learn multiple coding languages at the same time? I don't think that's a great idea personally. I tried doing that and it didn't work. I'd say learn one, get good at it, and then move on to other ones. Roberto Tomato, do you use attribute models for customer sentiment analysis measuring at all? My company does. I don't. I don't work in that specific like part of the company that does that. Um, what are the best resources to learn data analyst or web dev? Web dev, I'm not too sure. W3 Schools is probably a great one. And data analyst, my YouTube channel and Kaggle are great places to learn. Bo Zhang. Hi, Shashank. Good to see you streaming. Would be good if you can do web scraping tutorial? I've been self-learning web scraping recently. I found that most of the videos are more basic level. Yeah, for sure. So I haven't done a tutorial yet, but like you can see my last I have uh live streams where I web scrape. So definitely don't sleep on those. Okay. Devish Sharma, can we use API of Amazon in Python? If there is an API available, then Python should be able to interact with it just by using requests, or because a lot of these guys like make like Python packages you can use. I know Facebook, in order to get data off of them, you have to like sign up as a developer with them. Same thing with Insta. You have to like sign up as a Facebook developer and everything. So you can't just like do it without like some reason that you have to like sign up. And yes, I will do more videos on the data analyst career path. I've been sleeping on those, honestly. Like I've gotten that question a lot, and I really should do a video on the path. Do you have any opinion on Code Academy and data analyst career path? Code Academy is amazing. I personally am someone who learns really well from like practical application of coding. So for me, it was just doing a bunch of projects on my own. But Code Academy is great, and I've never heard a bad thing about it. Prod Swife if I want to go into data science, should we get internships as a data analyst first? That data analyst is a tremendous way to get into data science. Yes. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now with your current experience that you have gained? So 5 years from now, I am hoping that I am a senior data scientist. Yeah, I'm hoping 5 years from now that I am a senior data scientist at a company. And at a major company, and hopefully working in a domain that I'm like particularly interested in. So that's kind of the plan for 5 years from now, but we'll see. I think the senior data scientist is like, yes, we're definitely doing this. What company I work for, who knows? 5 years is a long time, but thank you for the question. It's a great question. What coding languages do you know? And how long did it take you to learn them? I know Python. SQL is not a programming language, but I know SQL. I know a little bit of R. Um, yeah, that's about it. That's all I know. And for the work I do, that's more than enough, honestly. And Python took me a couple of months to learn. Like I'd say, like within 6 months, I was like good at Python. Like I could like figure stuff out. I took a bachelor's in science, chemistry. Can I do data analytics? Yeah. So I actually have a bachelor's in chemistry as well. Yeah, it's just a matter of like doing projects, showing managers that you know what you're talking about, and going from there. All right, so back to the task at hand, guys. Thank you for all the questions. Again, I'm trying to answer them as I can, but also trying to focus on the task. So keep sending the questions in, and let me know if you guys have any more. So, okay, it looks like we have all of our reviews here. So I have the stars, I have the review text, I have the review date, and then I just added some random column over here. Okay. Is there any other information you guys think we need? I think that's probably about it. Maybe we want this verified purchase thing as well. I think, does anyone not have verified purchase? Like, what does a non-verified purchase look like? Because that might be useful. Because you want to like grab as much data as you can at first, and then like that. Okay, so this is not a verified purchase. Okay, cool. Vine voice. What's a Vine voice? Okay, so basically they get like advance notice like Amazon or like the products on Amazon. Okay, so let us see what does a verified person purchase look like? Okay. AVP badge, okay. And then what is this one? And she doesn't have an AVP badge, I'm guessing. You know what? I think for our purposes, let's not worry too much about that. Huh? I just saw this. We have a blind Carol Baskin. Is that the Tiger King person? Um, oh yeah. Interesting. Okay, wait. So when we got the Roomba, interesting. So this is going to be a very interesting review because it like I just reading this over here, right? I thought this was a negative review, but it's a 5 stars, and it's just a very this is an exercise in creative storytelling from in the form of an Amazon review. I am surprised at how much effort people put into Amazon reviews sometimes. Um, okay, cool. So let's go ahead and clean up this data a little bit more. So I think one thing that I find interesting is that it looks like we're opening it with the wrong encoding. So I want to see what index 662 looks like. As you guys can see, maybe you can't see, it's really small. It's not letting me expand it. But maybe the X people found this helpful. Oh, that's like, that's actually a good call. So Weeb Course 101 made a good point about adding the how many people found this helpful. I think that's actually a tremendous thing to add. Um, that is a really, really good idea. And I think every review has it. So let's see if we can grab it. So we'll go back to our scraper. Okay, so Alexi, okay, so this is an interesting question. I have a Python course on my YouTube channel, right here, and I still need to make like playlists of this stuff. right here, I have a Python course on my YouTube channel. This is how much Python you need to know. I wouldn't say need to know, but it's very helpful. I have a SQL course on my YouTube channel as well. I think it's like higher up. Where is it? There it is. This is how much SQL you need to know. And I have a Tableau course. Tableau, like BI tools like Tableau and Power BI are a tremendous way to get into the world of analytics in a more friendly way. Let's see, so Python course, SQL course, and Python, SQL. What was the other one? It was Tableau course, respectively. So these three courses are like what I would call the they have all of the information you need to like get a better, like you would be more informed than I was starting my job. So like when I started my first data analysis job, I didn't know any of this stuff. And then like I kind of just figured it out on the job, and then put my learnings into these courses. These courses, I say, are, if you're able to do them, you are more than qualified for an entry level job. Like if you're able to go through this entire course and like actually learn and like reproduce the material yourself, you'll be more than qualified. So if you want a straight answer about like what content you need to know, I have 3 courses on my YouTube channel that are completely free that you can check out. All right. So Juan, I'll get back to your question in a second. Okay, so yeah, Weeb 101, you make a good point. So 73 people found this useful. Let me go ahead and get this information over here. I think this is a good idea. So this is called helpful vote statement. Wow, that is easy. Nice. Yeah, of course, Farhan, of course. And if you guys have any ideas for like other courses I should be making, let me know. Those were just like if you know those 3 things, then like you should definitely be able to get a job in data in analytics. That's like that would make you very well qualified to do the work that that I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and open a random review, and then we can go test out our code. Oh, okay, cool. I already have the code over to open up stuff. So X, and let me know if I'm not explaining what I'm doing well enough. Let's go here. So what we want to do is we want to see if we can get that number of people who found this helpful as per Weeb 101's suggestion. Um, he brings up a really good point. That would actually be very helpful in like judging how good a review is. So I'm thinking we can kind of build like a model maybe that like tells us how good of a review is, and maybe we can like start ranking people's reviews, and maybe we can even make like a profile for someone. So like we go to all of someone's reviews, and then we start saying like, okay, you are a 9 out of 10 in like review quality, by putting together some metrics. So I don't know, there might be something interesting here. I didn't really have an objective with this whole like sentiment analysis thing yet. So Mahinder Kumar, go ahead and just look at the links that I posted above in the chat. And I don't know, if you join the chat, like, can you like see the entirety of the chat, or do you only see like the last part of it? Because my understanding is that when you join, you can like see the entirety of the chat. So go ahead and look at those 3 links that I posted. And those are like free courses I have that you can like use to become a data analyst. And I think maybe I'll start like putting that somewhere like in the corner of my like live streams. If you want to become a data analyst, like look at these 3 courses. But before that, let us try this. Okay, so Control C, Control V, and then I want to get this information over here. All right, let's see what we get. Okay, list index out of range. Okay, so what is the problem? Okay, so oh, you know what? Okay. No, I imported this whole thing. Yeah, of course, of course. Okay, cool. You can see the entire chat. Perfect. Then yeah, just and you know what? Let me, I'll do you one better. Can I copy this fully? copy link address. Python, put that over there. This should be SQL. Oh, I didn't copy the right one. Put that over there. SQL, Tableau, copy, paste. And then we will put that over there, make this maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. BI. Someone was left a comment saying, "Wait, this guy can't touch type," and that is accurate. I cannot reliably touch type. Yeah, I can put it over here. Yeah, and I'll just like. I wonder if you can just like float it to the top. I don't know. Let's put that over there, and then let's try and. So you can't just float it to the top. I'm not exactly sure what to do with this then. I guess I'll put it over here, and then yeah, just don't click. I just won't click away from it then, and I'll zoom out a little bit. So I have to like see if it's like visible to everyone. Hopefully people can read that. Cool. So I will just leave that over there. Hey, Marshall, welcome. Marshall, you posted something recently, didn't you, on your LinkedIn? You're the one that like linked me on LinkedIn and said like, oh, like look at this like project I did. It's really cool. That's like some great initiative over there. So good on you for doing that. Hola, saludos desde Chile. Dude, I want to go to Chile so badly. Seems like such a cool country. All right. So let me shrink this again. That way you guys can see the full thing. But yeah, welcome, Marshall. Thank you so much for coming through. Yeah, no, I think it was great that you put that on LinkedIn and put your projects on GitHub and everything. Okay, so we're trying right now to get the helpful vote statement, which is basically how many people found this review useful. And for some reason, we're getting an error over here. So nothing came out when I did that, and I'm not sure why. Okay, so let's try and change this to 10. And yeah, so we're bringing in the Amazon Roomba reviews. HTML string reader.read soup equals beautiful soup HTML string HTML.parser. And let's see. Class equals helpful vote statement. Okay, so why is nothing coming up? Let's see. So I thought, hey, Jamie, Marshall Turner. Yeah, I did that soccer ETL process, learned a crazy amount of beautiful soup, cousin Selenium. Awesome. Yeah. So we used Selenium last week to scrape data off of Amazon for this project. So you might see a lot of familiar stuff here. Okay, let's see. Helpful vote statement. Oh, that was a data hook. I am such an idiot sometimes. There we go. I've been doing this entire project, like getting the data hook instead of the actual class for some reason. Okay, so let us fix that. And let's see what we get. And I want that. 3 people found this helpful. Perfect. Okay, cool. So I have the code for, and I don't know if I said hi to Jamie, but hi, Jamie. And then I saw a question a little bit earlier that I would like to answer. So Juan Hurtado said, how do you stay motivated? I've been demotivated since graduating with a bachelor's in electrical engineering. It's been a struggle to find job and interviews don't have any drive to do anything. That's a tough question, you know. For me, I graduated with a pretty significant amount of college debt. So that was a tremendous motivation for me because I'm like, I refuse to like spend 5 years of my life paying this off. So for me, it was like a big motivation to be like, okay, like what can I do that'll make me like a good income and allow me to pay this off very quickly. And analytics was like one of the fields that like, would let me do that. So maybe if you can't think of a Like maybe if there's not something like maybe you need to like find a problem or something in your life that you're not satisfied with, and then tie fixing that to um, your motivation. You know, maybe that would help. But it's a really difficult thing. I will say also that like I saw the biggest upskill in myself when when COVID started because there was nothing else to do anyways, you know, so you might as well um, just sit at home and code all day. Okay. La-di-da, I'd like to analyze market data to give guidelines about the kinds of products companies should release, who they should target, etc. What data jobs do you think have similar responsibilities? It's a tough one. So that's like just a data analyst or data scientist job, and then now you have to start looking at like probably something closer to product management or like marketing, I would think in that case. Um, Weeb Course 101. When you have the time, could you recommend other books apart from the storytelling one? I like the hands-on machine learning book. I'm not sure if you're following my series on hands-on machine learning, where I go through every chapter of that book. I'm gonna see if I can like make another chapter today. Um, but that's a great one. Vaybov, data analytics course. Yes, good one. They teach R. I would recommend Python. That's my only criticism of it. And I get that question quite a bit, so I'll probably like write out the answer for that one and like put it somewhere easy for people to see. But long story short, it's a good course. Just they teach R instead of Python, and I personally would like. I think that people would benefit from learning Python. Hmm. Okay, so list index out of range. Okay, so I need to catch this error. So what I need to do is try this. So Alexi, I answered your question earlier. Actually a couple of times. So try except so we're getting an index error over here. So what happens is whenever you like say find all, it looks for all of the instances of that class. And then what you need to do instead is you need to um, go ahead and look at you want to get the first instance of that index usually. So what happens is if it returns nothing, then you can get the issue of you needing to deal with that exception. And I actually had a code review at my company recently where a senior data scientist was like, I was showing him a product that I made, and he was like, "This is good and all, but like you really need to handle exceptions better." Um, and that is, that's what you need to do. So Vaibhav, I would say just start making projects at that point. After you like, I think courses are great, but you should only need to take like one or so, and then after that, you just go ahead and start making projects on stuff you're interested in. So if you're interested in cars, for example, or like sports, go do an analytics project on that. I think Martin or not Martin, Marshall, sorry. Marshall has a really great project he did on the Premier League that he posted on like on GitHub and on LinkedIn and everything. And that kind of initiative, I think, is like what really gets people jobs. So I think that was definitely a great some initiative from him. Hey, la di da. Of course, of course. So, Vaibhav, sorry to answer your question. I think that now that you've done a course, I think you should go ahead and do a project. So, sorry, as I was new questions. Complete beginner, my YouTube channel, um, Excel. Excel, I'm not an expert on Excel, so I honestly can't give much advice on that. NumPy Pandas, that's inside my Python course. So I would say, like, I don't know if you've watched my Python content, like, watch that first, and it'll probably give you a better idea of like what you actually need to like learn. Um, Except index error. So sorry, index error is supposed to go over here. So sorry, I was doing this code review, and the data scientist made an important point where he said, "Hey, Shashank, when you're going to release this product to the user, you need to make sure you catch every single like exception and every single problem that the user might encounter. Of course, that like within reasonable testing. Um, that way, the user does not like the user has the smoothest experience when they use your product, and the smoother their experience, the more likely they are to continue using your product. And if they get like a big error screen, then a lot of users will be scared of that and not use your product anymore. So I think the point I'm making over here is that I'm going to add some try and excepts over here. That way, whenever we get an index error again, basically meaning that there was no data, the whole thing doesn't just crash; it just keeps going. So append no data. Perfect. And then I'm not too sure why Web dev W3. W3 course is probably the best one. I'm not a web dev myself, so I can't really comment on that, but I've heard great things about W3. So I don't know if this is like an actual error or if like, yeah, I don't know if this is an actual error or my IDE is just being stupid. So try, what's the, can I get rid of Pylance? Pylance has been really annoying recently. I don't know. Okay, so try, except index error. Of course, of course. All right, so yeah, and we get another index error over there. So okay, so it does work. The code is just, I don't know why it's throwing so many errors. Like it seems perfectly fine. Like I don't have a syntax error or anything. So we try this again. Um, and then we'll just append no data if there's an error. So sorry, the whole point of that story was to say that, it's good practice to like catch errors before they happen in front of your user. So try this, except when you get an index error, which means that there's no data. Okay, interesting. I don't even know what's happening right now. Index error, and then review date dot append no data. And then we have one last try statement. And just review usefulness dot append no data. All right, let's see what we get over here. Cool. Yeah, I don't know why it shows so many errors. Like everything's working just fine. Um, all right. Yeah, so people keep feel free to keep like throwing in questions over there. These questions are interesting. I will definitely probably make I will definitely make something about like the more commonly asked questions that I get. Just because I think that there's some things that like everyone wants to like know more about. Like the Google Analytics course is a good one. Um, but yeah, any questions, comments on what we're doing? Any questions about like the actual task that we're doing right now? We're trying to do a sentiment analysis on Amazon reviews. And I like these live coding sessions. They can get a lot of fun. So we're running the code right now. It's going through every single HTML statement. And I think this is one of the problems with Python. This is running quite slowly. And I wonder if we use a different programming language, if it would be a lot faster. Like it's fine with like, because I only have 200 documents, but what if I had like 50,000, then I could see that being an actual problem. Okay, so then I can probably close this. And also, speaking of which, if anyone is interested, I also do want to talk about this. I do have a Patreon where let's see, where is it? I do have a Patreon, which is a great way to support me. So if you like the work that I do and you're interested in supporting what I do, my Patreon is a tremendous way to help me out with the work I do. And of course, if you're not able to, don't worry about it. Liking, commenting, and subscribing on like my videos on my channel is another tremendous way to do it. But my Patreon is a great way to directly support what I do, and just make sure that I can keep doing what I do right now, regardless of what the YouTube algorithm thinks about me on a given day. Have you ever used PyCharm? So when I took the Google TensorFlow exam, I used PyCharm. I've heard great things about it. I think it was personally just too complex for me, and that's why I just use Visual Studio Code. But I think if you're working on a bigger team, then PyCharm is like very useful. But Visual Studio Code is like light enough and like has all the features I need personally. That's why I use it. Okay, so review date, and then we will add review usefulness as a new column. All right, and then that'll be review usefulness. Let's go ahead and, oh, and I didn't group by that. So let me group by that. So copy, paste. Okay, cool. And then we can clean this up a little bit. I'm wondering if we should bother right now, or we should just go straight to the sentiment analysis. You know what? Let's not bother for now. We'll go straight to the sentiment analysis. So go ahead and make a CSV out of that, and then on to the next part. So script 1, script 2. Now let's do script 3, where we do the actual sentiment analysis. So script 3. Let's see. Sentiment analysis.ipy notebook. Okay. And then I think, oh yeah, this code is available. Let's see. Code added review usefulness parameter. Okay. And then let's go ahead and push those changes. And for anyone wondering what I just did, I actually just posted the changes to GitHub, or I pushed the changes to GitHub. So GitHub, oh wait, nope, don't need to see that. GitHub. Oh, cool, I have another follower. Yeah, follow me on GitHub. I don't know if anyone cares about my GitHub followers, but it is, I mean, it's cool to have GitHub followers, and I never used to before this YouTube channel, but I have a repository right over here, and this is where I'm committing the changes to this code. So okay, it looks like a couple of people joined it. So yeah, if you want to follow me along and see what I'm doing and, you know, see what code I'm putting out, here is the GitHub repository. All right, let's see. Hi, I'm currently trying to do statistical analysis of my data in R for my dissertation. Let's see, dissertation. But the CSV format from SurveyMonkey is not in the right format. How can I transform for data analysis? I think I have a video on transforming SurveyMonkey data very specifically. I think it's my most popular video. I don't know if you're referencing that very specifically, but like, yeah, I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to specifically, but that's like my most popular video. Oh, thank you so much, Max. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I really try and keep it practical. You know, that's just kind of my personality. I'm very much someone who's concerned with the practicality of things. Oh, cool. We're at 576,000 views. Keep it coming, guys. But yeah, I have the SurveyMonkey video, so I'm not sure if you're referencing this specifically, but I do like a SurveyMonkey transformation as like one of my first videos. But yeah, and did I remove DS store? I did. Good, good, good. Okay. So let's go ahead. So now we're going to perform a sentiment analysis, and the way I'm doing it is I'm using something called HuggingFace. HuggingFace, which is, it's kind of hard to like explain, but it's like a group of people, like it's kind of like it's like a company kind of that builds like open source models, and then they like charge you for the support. So I think what they do is they're kind of following like the Red Hat methodology towards making money. For anyone that doesn't know, Red Hat is a company that like I think they make software for like Linux servers, and then the software is open source and free, but they offer support, which is that's what they charge for. That's how they make money, which is a really cool model, honestly. Let's see, like Red Hat. Yeah, yeah, open source software products to enterprises, and then they offer, yeah, they make, because it's really cool because it means that the software gets like widely adopted because it's open source. Um, and then, you know, they just charge you if you need any support from them. So what Hugging Face does over here is that you can like pull models from them, and they'll kind of like package some of the most advanced models in the world. So like the reason I wanted to use these guys is because I could like go through the whole process of like training my own like natural language processing model and like trying to like learn and like build a neural network and everything. And I've done that for my TensorFlow course, where like I took this course on TensorFlow and like got a certification in it and everything. But at the end of the day, like it seems to me that we've reached a point where like I don't think you can train a model that's more effective than like the ones that like Google and stuff are training, and then making open source, quite honestly. So to me, it sounds like the smart move is to just take a pre-trained model like the ones they have over here and just use those, especially for such a simple task like the one I'm doing right now. Like there's nothing special about the sentiment analysis we're doing at the moment. So Let me go ahead and switch the kernel to my HFace. So HFace for HuggingFace. And then keep the questions rolling in, guys. Questions, comments, lets me know that you're engaged. I'm doing well, I'm doing poorly, stuff like that. All right, so let's say import, I think it's just, yeah, HuggingFace hub. I had like a code demonstration where I like actually demonstrated this for myself. I don't know where I put it. Probably in my Notion, honestly. Let us see what we have here. I need the content I have on HuggingFace. Live coding sentiment analysis. Oh, did I not put it here anywhere? I thought I did. Ah, here it is, yeah. So, yeah, they offer like a tutorial right here. Yeah, it's as simple as this. So it's like from Transformers import pipeline. What country do you live in? So I'm actually in the US right now. Born and raised in the US. And then it's just classifier equals pipeline sentiment analysis. So it's as simple as this these days, like deploying machine or like getting machine learning models to work. And then classifier this. All right. So let us run that and see what we get. Okay, cool. So you can see that it performed a sentiment analysis and says that this is a positive with a score of 0.99. So we know that this works. So let's go ahead and so let me go ahead and add some notes here. Testing HuggingFace sentiment analysis. Okay. So we're testing it. And then next thing we got to do, bringing in data from, or Amazon data, bringing in Amazon data. All right. So let's go ahead and say data underscore import equals PD. So pandas dot, oh, I have to import pandas. Import pandas as PD. And then data import equals PD dot read underscore CSV. And then we're just going to bring in this one over here. So rename. All right. Oh, that's a markdown template. I need to convert it to a code cell. And I didn't add a quotation mark over there. Okay, cool. So we brought in our data. And then all we need to do, I'm guessing, is just, run this over and over again. So classifier equals pipeline sentiment analysis. And then we will do two columns, one called label, one called score. So let us go ahead and add a code cell over here. So we'll say sentiment label equals that, and sentiment score equals that. So Nishant brings up a good point over here. 0.99 is too good of a score. Is there overfitting? So this is where I'm a little bit It's hard to tell, right? Because this is also like a model made by Google. So like, I don't know if that's too good to be 100% honest. Like for sure, if I made a model and it got 0.99, yeah, that would be way too good. There's no way I can make a model like that. This is the example that's like straight from their GitHub, which makes me think that it's not overfitting. And maybe I'm pretty sure they deal with that in their code, but I don't actually know that. Leonardo Rosa, hi. What Jupyter extension are you using? Looks nice. So my understanding is you just go to the marketplace and then you install Jupyter over here, and then Python, of course. And then you save your file. You create a new file as whatever it's called, .ipynb, and that'll get you what you need. Then you can use it like this. And I personally like using this better than like a default Jupyter notebook. Okay, so we have the sentiment, but sorry, Nishant, that's a great point you brought up. I don't think it is, only because that's the example they give in their own GitHub. So I would assume that it's a good example, but I should look up if they're handling overfitting in any ways. But that's a great point you brought up, Nishant. Good job. All right, so we have the label, we have the score. So for I in or let's be a bit more specific. So I was talking to my brother yesterday, right? And one of his friends did an internship at Google once. Um, and what that guy said that was really interesting is that apparently at Google, a lot of code doesn't have comments inside it, and Google discourages it, in some cases discourages commenting, because their philosophy is that code should be self-documenting. Um, Basically meaning that your variable name. So I was about to say for I in data import review date. I switched that to review because what should happen is someone should be able to read this and immediately understand what's going on. So it's something that was brought up, and I'm like, oh shoot, that's actually like a really good idea. Let me see if I can like do that with my code from now on. So it's definitely something I'm putting more focus into, is make my code self-documenting. That way I can put as few comments as possible. It's better for everyone, honestly. Um, and then I think I just do this. Classification equals that. And then I'd switch this out with review. And then I can say sentiment label dot append. Oh, and that's really kind of you, Miguel. Sorry, I didn't see your comment earlier. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a mentorship program later, but no, that would be interesting. I think I have a lot on my plate right now, though, so probably not at the moment. So append classification, and because it's a dictionary, we have to use the .get method. My friend is currently a developer at Google. Their syntax is very, very strict. Nice, nice. Yeah, so that's what I would guess. Like I have another friend that works at Facebook, and like he was saying the same thing. It's like Facebook has a lot of uh things about like, yeah, personal notes are a no-go as well because they want all code to be uniform for everyone to read. Yeah, exactly. And then like I've also heard what do you call it? At Facebook they have like this philosophy of like, if you see code that could be written better, you have a responsibility to like, write it a bit better. Um, Basically like forcing ownership onto people, which I think is good. Like, when you have these like high performing companies, they don't become high performing because they just like let employees do whatever they want, right? Like, and they don't pay their employees obscene salaries because they let them do whatever they want. It's because the employees are people who are going to perform at the level necessary. Score. Oh, yes, it is VS Code. You were right. There are ways in Python for you to try a lot of different pruning methods all at once to see which ones improve your classification accuracy. I did it in my dissertation. Oh, that's super cool. You should make YouTube videos on that kind of stuff. Like it looks like you did a PhD. I love listening to people that did dissertations and just like hearing about them. It's so interesting. All right, let's see what we get. List object has no attribute get. Oh, interesting. So I could probably just like pass in everything at once, and it would label every, because I just realized this is a list. But we already have a method over here, so let's just go with it. So classifier 0, so the first index. Oh, you know what? The only problem is, okay, so now I have to know where we are. Counter equals 1, or counter equals 0. I do need to have some idea of like how fast this is going. And this is something that's really important. There's a module called TQDM that works better and gives you like a nice progress bar and everything. But I keep having problems like downloading it into my Python environment. So sometimes I just do this. It's important to see how. Yeah, see, I didn't know it was going so slowly. We haven't even done one iteration yet. I guess because the reviews are so long. And then like my computer's running a bunch of different things at once, right? Because it's like running the OBS like, oh, no, it's because I'm an idiot. Print counter. There we go. Now, there we go. Okay, that's a lot better. I was thinking about doing a master's in data science in the UK. Do you recommend any colleges in particular? Not in the UK. I don't know anything about UK colleges beyond Cambridge and Oxford. So I would definitely say if you can go to a more prestigious university, there is a real return to just having that name on your certificate. But also like look at universities where you will like actually like, because the thing about data science is like a master's degree is it's kind of like it's a new field, so very few people actually like there are a lot of people that are like tacking data science onto their statistics degrees and onto their like CS degrees. Um, yeah, so that's why I would like do a lot of research into the actual content that they'll be teaching before you go into a college. But like look at their syllabus, see like okay, is this good? Am I actually like, learning stuff like that? Oh yes, Georgia Tech is amazing. Georgia Tech's really, really good. So I don't know if you guys know, I actually went to Emory, so very familiar with Georgia Tech. And yeah, that is they have a tremendous program. That I've only heard great things about their program. All right, so we have about 2,000 reviews we need to get through. Let's see what we get. Little bit longer. Yeah, so while we're waiting, people feel free to like put in some questions. Let me know what you got going on. What's everyone up to? What are you guys doing? I might and if you guys have suggestions as to how I can improve these live streams, please let me know. I think like I like doing these live streams, but I'm very much like a noob at this stuff. And I don't know like I don't watch like Twitch streamers and stuff, so I don't really know what they do beyond like, play games. But if anyone has any suggestions as to how I can like improve my live streaming, like definitely let me know. So we have about 400 more iterations to go. It's working pretty quickly. I'm actually a game developer, but thinking of switching fields because I heard data science is a trending field. Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, I think you should make whatever you don't discount on making the choices that make you happy. I only say that because anecdotally, most people I know that get into game development like do it because of passion. Um, so I definitely wouldn't discount like the fact that you may really enjoy your work. And data science can be very tedious. Like it very much could be very tedious. But yes, it is very much a trending field. That is true. Okay, so check mark. Cool. So we're done with this. So sentiment label. Let's see what we got. Okay, so most of them are positive. So let's not worry about that too much right now. And let's do this. PD dot data frame. So we need to make a data frame of, let's see, data equals. I went to Manchester. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so the first one is going to be sentiment label, and then that'll be sentiment label, and then the second will be sentiment score. So at this point, I'm at the crossroads of learning machine learning, deep learning, or getting into cloud data environments like SAP or Alteryx data analytics. What do you suggest? That's a tough one. I think I'll put it this way. I think you will have a very lucrative career, no matter which one you choose of those two things. SAP people get paid insane gobs of money. At the first company I was working at, they're doing an SAP implementation. The people that they're hiring are just getting paid so much money. It's insane. And it's a great system. People like using it. Um, let's see. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that sounds like a really personal decision, honestly, right? Like, I think both are great choices. It's kind of like I heard this really funny saying the other day because so I'm buying a new camera. So actually, I want to show you guys. I've been meaning to show you guys. I'm buying an A6100. So it's a Sony camera. So I've been wanting a Sony. I've been wanting like a nice camera for like over a year now because I'm like a huge traveler. And my the phone is a tremendous camera. 99% of the time it's great, but there are two situations in which it's not good. There's a lot of situations in which I need to zoom into something in order to like actually get like a proper view of it. And there are situations in which like night photography is not that great. Now, with computational photography, night photography's gotten so much better, which machine learning, that's a great application of it. Computational photography to like make night photos a lot better. And it's one of the reasons that like Google with like inferior lenses has been punching way above their weight in terms of like against Apple and Samsung in the phone market. So I bought one of these, and I'm hoping it comes to buy in the next week or so. And I'm going to start recording my videos using this as well. So I don't think you guys will like see any difference because like honestly, the iPhone has a tremendous camera as well. But I just want to share that with you guys. Um, are you planning to evaluate fake reviews based on the sentiment analysis not matching with the number of stars? Yes, that's probably I wasn't planning on looking for fake reviews, but that's definitely something I wanted to do. How do you prepare for job interviews? I have this methodology where I use a what do you call it? Um, so for me, if I look at a sentence that I've written out, I can like make an entire like diatribe based off of just that. And so for me, that's kind of like what I do is like I'll think of all the major questions that could be asked and just write one sentence about them, and then I'll practice the night before like reciting those answers. But then like I won't get the recited answer during the interview, but I'll like have a good idea of how to like string my thoughts along about just having the major points. All right, so sentiment score is sentiment score. Okay, cool, cool, cool. 1990, is that all we have? I thought we had 2000 rows. Oh, I guess not. Okay, cool. Um, so we'll call this sentiment data, and then we will just concatenate the two of these together. Sombrella, you should totally look into getting a Sigma lens with your A6100. The sharpness on it is incredible. Yeah, let me note that down. I don't know anything about photography, so it'll be fun to play around with that. Let's see, A6100 Sigma lens. AFMA, Sigma lens. Okay, so I have that in my tab list to go look at. But thank you so much for letting me know about that. Yeah, I don't know anything about. If anyone has any suggestions on like how to like get better at photography or something, let me know because I definitely don't know. All right, so we're gonna bring in the data import, and then we're gonna do the sentiment score, and I think it has to be like axis equals 1. Oh, sentiment data, not sentiment score. Cool. Perfect, perfect. So we've put all of our data together, and then we'll call that our output equals this. Copy, paste, and then we'll do pd.to_csv. Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops, not, so it should be output.to_csv. What do you recommend for a newbie, TensorFlow or scikit-learn? Scikit-learn for sure. TensorFlow is like deep learning and everything. And I think a basic understanding of like machine learning is more important when you're starting off. I know people from my master's course that only learn Power BI and a tiny bit of SQL. They're struggling right now. Whatever you do, always aim to be the best and go the extra mile. 100%, 100%. I have some pages which I use for practicing. Yeah, Max, I think that's great advice, and like it's kind of advice I'm taking to heart as well on my myself too. Because when I started off, I learned Alteryx, and that's how I did like all the stuff I'm doing right now. I would do it in Alteryx, but then I went to my second company, and Alteryx is a tremendous tool for anyone that doesn't know. It's more or less like a GUI version, like it's a GUI replacement for Python, really. They hate it when you call it that, but like long story short, that's what it does. And I went to my next company, and they were willing to offer me a license for Alteryx, but I said no because like the more I like looked around the space, the more I'm like, you know what? I probably would benefit tremendously from like learning Python because all that stuff I learned in my previous company, if I go to a company that doesn't have Alteryx, like I'm screwed. So yeah, I think what you're saying, Max, is like definitely something that you need to like people need to watch out for. Um, being not learning enough stuff to where you can't move up anymore and you're kind of just stuck somewhere. So Amazon Roomba reviews with sentiment.csv. And then index, come on, equals false. I don't want to add an index there. All right. Let us go ahead and save that in there. And then performed sentiment analysis. So this is on GitHub now. And then let us put in a new script to actually like look at the data that we put together. So we'll call this script. So this is kind of like how I like to lay out my workflows because oftentimes it's important for me to know like what order do I have to execute stuff. So SAP, is it even used in analytics? So long story short, I see where the question comes from. So yeah, if you're working in SAP, you're generally not working in analytics. That being said, they are working really hard to like make their systems more intelligent and to add analytics into their systems so you never have to leave their systems. A great example of that is them buying out or no, that was Salesforce, sorry. But they definitely are like investing a lot into like machine learning and like making sure that their systems are intelligent so you don't have to like um, ever leave their systems and you can keep everything with them. Yep, analytics on top of SAP data. There you go. ERP systems in general generate. Yep, exactly. ERP systems generate so much freaking data. In my first job, that's more or less what I was doing. I was like analyzing a bunch of inventory and ERP data. Because at the end of the day, like that is your business data right there. So that's important. So Slimebrow, hello, what is this? So we're doing a sentiment analysis on Amazon reviews. So we went ahead and we scraped a bunch of data off of Amazon on the Roomba, and then we went ahead and we put that data into a machine learning model that told us whether the review was positive or negative. And now we're going to match that against the actual item we got. Oh, and here we go. Here's a great example of it probably didn't work. So 1.0 out of 5 stars. This item is terrible and it got a positive review. So let's go ahead and see what the problem is. So script for analysis of analysis .ipy notebook. Okay. So import pandas as PD. I'm a senior analyst for supply chain for D365. D365 sounds familiar. Let's see, 365. Oh, like wait, but like Microsoft Dynamics? Um, yeah, so then in that case, you would definitely know a lot about ERP systems. Let's see. And it's really cool to see we have so many like diverse people in here. We have like college students, we have people from all over the world, people working like in the workforce, senior stuff like that. It's always good to see a diverse number of people in here. So, okay, we have our data. So let's go ahead and data import equals pd.read underscore CSV. And then rename. Nice, cool stuff. So are you working out of the Seattle area, if you don't mind me asking? Because I work for Nordstrom, and yeah, I will be moving to Seattle at some point in time, presumably. Wait. Oh, whoops. I don't think I've activated the right kernel. Minimal DS is the kernel I normally use for this. Okay, cool. So we have the data over here. So let me see if anything even came out negative. So we're going to go ahead and filter this table. So data import, what do we call it? Sentiment label. Very close, yes, okay. Very close, I'm going to guess that means Bellevue. Sentiment analysis. equals negative. Oh, sentiment label, sorry. Interesting. So nothing came out as negative. Let me just make sure. So basically anything that wasn't positive, maybe negative spelled differently. Okay, so everything was rated as positive. That is interesting. I wonder why. So let me try something. Give me a negative sentence, guys. Give me something that's like super negative. Like what would be something that like we can put in here to test and see if the classifier is actually working like it says it will? Because obviously it's not working the way it should. I'll give you guys a second to think of something to add over here. Yeah, but it's great to see so many diverse people over here. So thank you so much for joining. I always like seeing like the people coming in from all over the community. 40 minutes south of Seattle. Okay. Yeah, if I moved to Seattle, I'd be moving downtown next to the Nordstrom office, like smack dab in the center of the city. All right, so we need to test the classifier. I hate data science. Okay, there we go. This product is crap. There we go. All right. So let's try both and see what happens. Okay, put that in there. See, okay, that got a negative. We are disheartened to hear that you didn't like our product. Okay. You know what? I'll try all of those. So just to be clear, the problem we're having is that negative, not a single thing was classified as negative. So I'm trying to see if this thing even works properly. Yeah, that was negative. Oh man, you guys are hilarious. iSky Sharp Gaming, nice. iSky Sharp Gaming, what's I don't think I've seen you comment before, so thank you for joining. Copy, paste, and then let us copy. Whoops. Negative, yeah. I mean, it seems to be working. Have you tried using AAS sentiment analysis on the same data set? So, sorry, when you say that, what do you mean over here? And then we'll just try these last two ones. Copy, paste, paste. Negative. And last one. And actually, one question I have, what if you took a sentence that is neither negative nor positive? So for example, let's copy this. And then like the sentence over here, like this is neither negative nor positive, right? So what happens if you put this in here? Paste. Wait, now is everything just negative? Um, what if we said, okay, like I love data science. Okay, so it is working. Okay, so William Bogey. Use one of the actual bad reviews for the filter. Go grab one of the 1 stars from the page. That should 100% show up in the filter. Okay, cool. So that's a good idea. We can bring in review 1989. So let me go all the way down here. And we'll say, or you know what? No, let's put it closer to the top. Who do you work for now? I work for Nordstrom. So it's a North American fashion retailer. Testing, what did I say? I'd say testing HFace functionality. And then put that over there. So I need, okay, so data import dot ilock. So index location. I want index 1989, and I want the 0, 1. So I want the first column. Okay, cool. So let me just read this myself. Okay, so item is terrible, bought it myself, crashing, furniture, circulating. couldn't do the bare minimum either. Save yourself the money, get something better that actually works. Okay, cool. So this is definitely a negative review. Now let's go ahead and put this inside the classifier. Honestly, I have a feeling I just wrote the code wrong. So classifier on this. Yeah, that's negative. That's very negative. Okay, cool. So let's see what I wrote incorrectly over here. So classification equals classifier review. Okay, so I for review in, oh my God, wow, I am so dumb. I ran this on review date. Wow, no. We need to run this on review text. Okay, wow. Okay, well, at least we knew the problem was that easy to fix. Interesting. Okay, so now we're running into actual issues. So it looks like some are longer than we would like. Running this sequence through the model will result in indexing errors. Okay, so I think, so what's the maximum length then? I'm guessing like 512. Cool, JavaScript's a good language to learn. Okay, so we can have up to 512 characters. Okay, so in that case, what I need to do is say review, and I'll just cut off the end of it, equals, and we can think of a more advanced solution like next week, review, and then up to the 512th character. All right, let's try that. And you know what? Let me do this correctly. Let's see. Conda activate HFace. Yeah, 512. So I went ahead and do that. Must you remove stop words from the reviews, or would that be unnecessary? So this is a model that was like trained by a bunch of engineers at like Google and stuff. So I'm guessing that it already handles that. But yes, traditionally you would have to if you were to like build this from scratch. Conda install TQDM. Oh, because I already have TQDM. Okay, so let's see. From TQDM, import TQDM notebook. Okay, and then usually they require you to like put in something else. So TQDM is this, do you work remote? I currently do, yes, but I think they're going to make us come into the office. We learn on Monday. TQDM underscore notebook. progress not found. See, I always run into this issue. Okay, I keep forgetting how to fix it. Control C, Control V, progress not found. And then how do you solve this? If you run Jupyter, from TQDM, import TQDM. Maybe I'll just do that instead. Okay. And then let's not use TQDM notebook. Okay, so okay, this is why they make you use TQDM notebook. So you can see it's kind of glitching, but at least it's not like expanding infinitely, and I can actually see it. So you can see over here that it produces like a nice bar that you can use. All right, any more questions, guys? So I think this is going to work a lot better. We have we're actually classifying our text now. Earlier we weren't doing that at all. I was pointing to the wrong column, as I did in when I was web scraping as well. Questions, concerns? All right, so for review in TQDM, and then what we did is we shortened the review down. That way we don't go over the limit of the number of characters they allow, which is okay. I think at the end of the day, like in 512 characters, hopefully it can figure out whether something's positive or negative. Who are some people you would look up to in the data world? Ken G is probably up there. He does a lot of great work with the like so he was one of the like original guys I like followed. Then I'm like, oh shoot, like data science can actually be like something that's interesting to people on YouTube. So I would say like he's definitely up there. Yeah, I think that's probably a solid response. I joined the stream late. How would did you scrape the data from? Ah, okay, good call. Is most of your work backend? Do you handle the visualization aspect as well? So it depends. Long story short, I do both. Oh, thank you so much, Jamie. But yeah, Taylor, long story short, I do both. I handle both the visualization and the backend. So like the way our team works, and it's not how every team works, but in we work with strategic analytics, and the way our team works is that each of us is kind of given like a business partner, and we're supposed to help that business partner end to end solve any analytics problems they may have. Now, as far as backend is concerned, I'm not going all the way to the data engineering level. That's actually handled by like the engineers. Um, and that is what we are trying to and so what happens is we usually put together the requirements for the engineers. We're like, okay, we need this data in this format. Here's a SQL, like make it happen in like a replicable manner, and then we build a Tableau dashboard, like code something on top of that. So I'd say I don't go like super deep into the back end, but I do like I'd say like the middle of the back end forward. um I joined the stream late. How did you scrape the data from Amazon? So we actually scraped the data from we scraped the data from the using Selenium, and then after we got the data, because what happens is you have to actually like render the page, and then once you render the page, then you can pull the HTML off of it. So Sombrella, to answer your question, we scraped the data using Selenium. Like that's how we actually like got the data off of Amazon, and then we parsed the HTML using Beautiful Soup. You're correct. Um, Thank you for all your videos. Of course, of course. Arthur Samuel. Interesting. I don't know who this is. This has been a very enlightening stream. I've learned so much from you guys here. Arthur Samuel. American pioneer in the field of computer gaming and artificial intelligence. Interesting. This guy looks super cool. For those of you that don't know, like a lot of like what we call AI machine learning today, like the theory behind it, my understanding came out in the 50s and the 60s. And only now we have like the actual technology to implement it at scale. Man's trying to be a full stack dev. Well, I definitely, so I do a lot of consulting on the side, and that is the like being able to do everything from like end to end makes you very valuable on like the freelancing market, because what happens is like you'll have like these small companies and small businesses and like individual entrepreneurs that like don't want to hire an entire team of people. So yeah, like I've kind of like picked up a kind of smithering of like full stack skills by just out of necessity, and the fact that like it's a fairly lucrative thing you can do very with just some practice. No DFDs or ERDs. And okay, so what is a DFD or ERD? DFD. Data flow diagram. Okay. No, so I do not do that. So no, that is definitely more of like the engineering work. So that's like, the fact that I had to look it up tells you like how much I know about it. So like I know what these are, and I've like read a bunch of these. But usually what I do is like I will put it together in like a Miro board, and then like the actual engineers will like put it together and be like, okay, like what databases like physically go from like, and how are we gonna like make this go efficiently? So I don't do DFDs and enterprise resource diagrams. Entity relationship diagram. Okay, so I don't do those either. No, no. I think I probably I like touch these kind of at like the end, in that like I will define like what I believe is like a good process, but no, I don't formally do this at all. No, the only part of the process that I'm not involved in is the pipelines to build our DWH. After that, everything gets stuck in my wheelhouse, which isn't ideal. Okay, so data warehouse, yeah, data warehouse. Okay, um, yeah. So this is similar to what I do. I handle everything after it is actually in the data warehouse. Max, you're looking at macro levels like Visual Studio. Okay, cool. So we ran this. Nice. Okay, we got some negatives in here too. Now, that's weird because I think the first review actually is quite positive. Yeah, no, this is positive. Okay, so, but at least we're getting some variability here. And then let us output that data, and then we will import it now. Okay, cool. Wait. Did I even write that? Oh, I didn't actually write it to CSV. There we go. And then, okay, so it's saying the first one was negative when it was very clearly positive. So let's read that and see what happened. Do you make PowerPoint and recommendations for work? So I personally prefer not to use PowerPoint, but I will. Yeah, I do make PowerPoint. No. Actually, no. I use them whenever they're effective. Yeah. So yeah, I do make PowerPoints because what happens is after I get the requirements from the business unit and I like put together like a dashboard and everything, a PowerPoint is a great way to like explain to people like, okay, here's how the data flowed. Because I always believe it's very important for the business to know how the data got to where it is. Plus, at the end of the day, like um, whenever, especially whenever you do technical work, it's really easy for business people to like not understand how much effort goes into like getting like moving data from like one place to like another place. Like I was talking to my brother about this the other day. Literally, like getting data into a SQL database or like pulling, like writing a SQL query of sufficient complexity can take like half a day if it's complex enough. But that's really difficult to communicate to someone who doesn't like understand the technical stuff. And so that is something that like I really try and communicate through my PowerPoints as well. So like I try and like straddle this line between communicating the amount of work I did and like keeping it relevant to what they're actually doing. Um, yeah, I'm also stuck with the data discovery aspect, identifying the correct source of data to pull from ERP. Yeah. This is like really annoying. It's a really annoying problem to have because it's like you're not analyzing the data, you're just like looking for it. But like every company has this problem, as far as I'm aware right now. Maybe like the Googles and stuff don't. I'm not sure. Tableau's like PowerPoint and steroids. In many ways, yeah. In many ways, it is. Why don't you program in assembly? Because I'm not pro coder enough to do assembly. Those guys are too hardcore for me. Um, my weak mind would not be able to handle it. Okay, cool. So we have a couple of negatives. Actually, the majority of them are negative, which is inaccurate. So yeah, like you're seeing these 5-star reviews that are negative. So here's what we should do. I'm going to stop the video soon, but let me do one quick analysis. So what we can do is next week we can come and actually like analyze this data now that we've like performed the sentiment analysis. Um, so let me try this. Data import dot group by segregation of duties just hasn't happened. Okay. So group by, let's say the stars. So I want to group by stars and then sentiment label. And then I want to do a sum of random. And random just has 1 in every single column. And then let's reset the index. All right, so our 1-star reviews. Okay, so it looks like it rates 1-star reviews pretty good. 337 of the 1-star reviews are rated as negative, and only 7 are positive. So that's good. And even the same thing with the 2-star reviews. It looks like we're doing a pretty good job with that. So out of the 2-star reviews, most of them are coming out negative. And it looks like it gets 4 stars is where we have it. That's interesting. 4 stars is very interesting. And I'd say even 5 stars, 5 stars is not tremendous. So I'm thinking what we should do next week is I'm happy enough with the performance of the 1 and the 2-star reviews. Again, for the purposes of 1, 2, and 3-star reviews, for the purposes of like what we're doing over here. Um, the 4 and the 5s are not good. The 4 is just bad. Let's see if we can get an example. So let's see. Data underscore import, and then the first condition, data import stars equals, and then I want the 4-star review, and then and I want data import sentiment label. Ooh, oh my God, wow. Equals, let's see, negative, because these shouldn't be negative. Like if it's 4 stars, that's not a negative review. Let's see what we get. Ah, interesting. Let's look at number 32 over here. That looks pretty interesting. I'd recommend taking into account the length of the review. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. We'll be adding that in next week in that case. I think that's pretty smart. So 4.0 out of 5 stars. So perfect for pets. So yeah, let's read this one and see what happened. Because it's also like very certain this is negative. So 4-star negative equals that. And of the 4-star negatives, I want to look at like the 32. Oh, you can't do it that way. Dot ilock 32, and I think 1 is what I want. Yeah, okay. How advanced do you have to be to become a freelancer like you're talking about? The longer review, the less likely essay is to be wrong. Okay, yeah, that's a good call. We should test that out. How advanced do you need to be to become a freelancer like you're talking about? So here's the thing. Go onto Upwork.com and you will see what happens when you could go look at a bunch of jobs and like they kind of like run the spectrum. So I think I think as long as you are able to like, like do some Python, like for the work that we're talking about, right? As long as you're like able to do some Python, or Excel or Tableau, you'll find some work on Upwork. And it's kind of like you go there and you'll see work at like all levels of the spectrum and then basically just like work up from there, So I took on like really, really like simple jobs when I first started and then like moved up from there. So that would be my suggestion. Like Upwork has like things at all or many skill levels. I wouldn't say literally all skill levels. Like you can't come in like not knowing something because they won't train. Unlike a real job, they won't train you. I was given I had put too much numbers and they wanted highlighty slides. Yeah, the 5-second rule for dashboards is great. And I have a standard format that I follow that seems to work pretty well. Company logo on the upper right, or you know what? Let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Let's see. Canvas. Online Paint. I'm on a Mac, so there's no paint. So like I do like the company logo up here, and I do a couple of top line metrics over here. I do filters over here, and then usually 2 columns. So one over here, one over here. And then I will split those columns into like if I can avoid it, maximum 2. But usually what I like to do is I like to do one big visual over here and then the breakdown of that visual over here. So like this would be, okay, so logo, name of the dashboard. Fewer than 6 top line metrics if you can have it. So top metrics. And then filters. And then Viz 1. And then Viz 2. And then Viz 3. This is kind of the format I generally follow. For sure, this top section over here basically never changes. Like this is always how I do my dashboards. And like this section over here, I'll play around with depending on who the actual like user is. So that's just my advice. Okay. Works well on tile floors, but can't do high pile carpets. I also wish the dustbin was larger because I have a dog who sheds copious amounts of fur and I don't think it can pick up much. Interesting. Okay, no, I would call this negative. Like the verbal part is negative, and I think that might be the problem with four-star reviews. Um, a four-star review is like overall this is great. Here's my one problem, and you'll spend the review talking about that one problem. So I can I can see the problem here with trying to do a sentiment analysis on negative reviews. Now the problem is this isn't as bad as like a one-star review, which is like this is the worst thing ever. This is horrible. I hate this. But it's kind of like acting as if it is. So I wonder if there's like a way to like do like a scaled sentiment analysis where it's like here's like the scale of bad like negativity and positivity and like where it falls. So we'll hit that up next week. Um, oh wow, we're at 2 hours. I am going to head out for today. Thank you so much, everyone who joined in. It was great to see all the participation we have here. I love talking to you guys and like hearing what you guys have to say. And especially this week, we looks like we had some like seniors here that were giving up some really good feedback. So let's get back to this next week. And I think this is better than my normal Q&As of like, kind of just like answering questions like outright. Actually like doing a task might be useful, but maybe next week I'll do like a pandas task or something because I also do want to like I don't want to like leave behind people that are more like beginners. This might be a little bit confusing to people who are like beginners, so maybe I'll do like a live course or something. I'm not too sure. Um, yeah, maybe let me see if I can do something a little bit like easier next week. But we did perform a sentiment analysis. That is what we did. I wouldn't say it's a good one, but it is a sentiment analysis. So analysis of bad uh, sentiment ratings. Push that to the GitHub. This is available for all you guys to check out if you want. Right over here. And thank you guys so much for joining. And again, if you're interested in supporting the work that I do, again, you don't have to, but if you're at all interested, my Patreon is right over here. You can also always like, comment, and subscribe on my video. So I see this video, for example, I don't see enough likes over here. So if you could like the video, that would be awesome. That is really, really, really important for the YouTube algorithm. And I see we're performing a little bit better this week than we were performing last week. And I think that's because last week I asked everyone to like the video a lot. So like if you're here, please like the video, comment on it if you have a chance to. And that's a great way of